That time my dad nearly died, I learnt something important. I learnt that I am a bitch to people who nearly die. He tore his hamstring and broke his neck trying to break some cycling record, and it nearly broke me. Yet when I saw him in the hospital, he just smiled. Said he was so happy to be alive and just to see me again. Maybe it was the morphine, but maybe it was the fact that he's a cyclist. He plans for aching muscles, loves a long road ahead, and believes in the power of the journey. Then again, it was probably the morphine, but he just smiled. Said he was so grateful things hadn't gone worse. He said this, mind, wearing a neck brace, covered in multicoloured bruises and unsure of whether he'd walk again, but he looked so happy. I didn't feel the same. My dad may be the long-distance triathlete, but I've lived far too far from him for far too long to ignore what distance feels like. So instead of listening to his stories of realizations and the learning curve, how hard times teach us how loved we really are instead of calm, and quiet and contemplation over the road travelled instead, I climbed onto his hospital bed, put my heavy head against his struggling lungs and told him that if he ever dies, I would kill him. If he didn't wear a helmet, or he pushed himself too far, he just got too old or too sick, that was not a good enough excuse. We were lucky. My dad was back on his bike within months, but he promised me. He promised he is never falling off again, without letting me catch him.